Love to train. We've got Jake from GainzNotPains,
all
the way up from Colorado Springs.
Right.
Now, Jake, tell me more about the demographic that you work with.
So I work with strength athletes of all kinds, mostly powerlifters, but usually it's sort of the more competitive type powerlifters. So I work with a fair amount of kind of newbie, beginner type lifters, but also more specifically, usually those individuals that are really trying to push either at national or international levels of competition. So,
Good stuff. Now, my question for you is, what is the most common injury that you see, and what would you recommend people do as a preventative measure for that?
Yeah, so for lifters particularly, although probably for pretty much all worker-outers in general, the injuries that we see all the time,
Worker-outers.
Worker-outers. So anybody who's interested in kind of, getting stronger, which for most people is at least some portion of their program, even if it's a body fat loss goal or whatever. The major issue that I would say that I think is kind of a token answer is trunk or core strength, but I would like to specify that just a little bit because there's that has become such an ambiguous thought process.
Hundreds of crunches.
Yeah, right. What does that really mean? So specifically how that tends to get undone with people or underdone with people is in the form of trunk rotation, lateral stability, and unilateral balance and training of some kind. So trunk rotation being the ability of the spine to rotate. Lateral stability meaning if you were misloaded from one side to the other, more so
like cable
lateral
twist,
flexion. Cable twist would be the movie kind, but also just things like side planks, just like you said, farmer's carries, anything that really challenges the trunk to stay upright rather than have lateral flexion or extension in more of an isometric format. So less about doing lots and lots of side bends and more about holding still with a lateral.
And what about, is this like a warm-up? Do you recommend doing it as like accessory work or like a workout completely aside from working on all of those aspects?
Well, for me right now, in my own personal training, I have a whole segment of my workout committed to trunk rotation and lateral stability. So it's a whole day.
Awesome.
Which is an awful, so it's like it fits into me where squats fit in, like so on the same level of priority.
So ninja training day and then powerlifting.
Yeah, that's right. And the powerlifting, that's the time pretty much, But I would say that probably for most people, that's thanks to me developing what I would consider a pretty significant imbalance in that, the way most people have, because I've been powerlifting for the last 5 years. So on average, I don't know that most people would have to really commit a whole day to it, but they should probably pepper it in, perhaps a little bit every day, or a whole day of it, or a medium amount every other day, something to that effect. But I would, I've termed that trunk rotation and lateral stability and trunk stability is the fourth primary of powerlifting. So you have bench, squat, deadlift, and then keeping your trunk screwed on straight as the fourth priority. So in other words, if you were committing 25% of your training to squat, 25% of your training to bench, to deadlift, and then another 25% to trunk rotation, lateral stability, etc. So it's that important to me. How you work it into each program is a little different depending on the needs of the individual. But yeah, to me it's that high on the list.
Awesome. Some pearls of wisdom from Jake. Check them out. GainzNotPains.
Yep, GainzNotPains.com. And on the gram at Gainz with a Z _ pains with an S. And then I put all kinds of videos on just to show different training methods.
Great.
Lots of rehabilitative stuff, but also just meatball stuff that I think is interesting and make good content. So.
Meatballs are great.
Yeah, meatballs are where it's at. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for checking in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome.